Hello one and all, and welcome to a deck profile for the Redox Scraps. Well, I was planning on doing ages ago and just never got round to. I feel it's a really nice deck, and it exemplifies some of the funness of this sort of format without some of the more meta stuff. I'd say this is a deck which is worth playing around with just for fun, I suppose, but it has a bit of potential to be competitive. So let's jump right into it. So we've got 3 Redox Dragon Ruler, 2 Scrap Golem, 2 Scrap Orpheros, 3 Scrap Chimera, 3 Scrap Beast, 2 Scrap Goblin, 2 Maxi, 1 Scrap Searcher, 2 Effect Veiler, 3 Scrap Yard, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Gold Sarcophagus, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Book of Moon, 3 Full Forbidden Lance, 3 Scrap Storm, 2 Scapegoat, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Dice, 3 Call of the Haunted, and 1 Solemn Warning. So I'm going to go through the choices on why I've decided these before I move on to the extra and side decks. So the initial is that Redox is going to be a great way of bringing out your Scrap Golem really quickly. If it's logged in your hand and you wanting to get it out for the combo with, say, Scrap Goblin or Scrap Beast, to get out your Scrap Dragons or your Scrap Twin Dragons, or just any level in general, or any monster in general, I should say, from your Synchro deck, it is possible to get a lot of them out. So you've then got your 2 Scrap Golem, which I've sort of covered. I haven't gone with 3 because I feel it's a bit too cloggy for the deck, and so I would recommend just running 2. But if you want to try out 3, go ahead. Scrap Orpheros, this is another one I'm running, which it's not seen so much play, but it's great for being able to set up plays you want to, like bringing your Scrap Chimeras back to hand really quickly, because what it does is you can only special summon it when you've already got a scrap out, and then when it's summoned you have to destroy a scrap on the field, which is really great if you want to either take itself out as soon as it's played to bring a Scrap Chimera back to hand, since it's got sort of a bonus effect, which is when it's destroyed, or basically what most scraps have, which is if they're destroyed you can buy a scrap effect, then you can select scrap in your grave and bring it to hand, which I find to be a really handy move to be able to pull off. As well as this, it's a way of getting, say, a Scrap Goblin, something engraved, if it's on your field, it's in attack mode for some reason, or Scrap Search, just something like that, where you'd prefer them just to be not vulnerable in that respect. Would rather have something with a bit more attack to it. And you've got 3 Scrap Chimera. These are going to be used to bring back your Scrap Beasts, or Goblins if you're wanting to go for a Scrap Archfiend. Basically when it's summoned you get to special summon Scrap from the grave, as long as it's Scrap Tuner. And but the only downside is Scrap Chimera itself can only be synchroed for the summon of a Scrap monster, which most of the time you're either going to go for, or mostly you're going to pick a Scrap Beast so you can get Scrap Dragon out. That's the main idea of the deck. When you've got Goblin, these are going to be your level 3 tuners. I run 2 because I feel it's a good consistency, especially with some Blackwings running around. Well, you'll see a bit of it, I would imagine. I think they're good enough to be seen as tier 2, at least. So you don't want to have running 3, so it's a free way of them getting to you via the sort of combos they can pull off alongside the Armed Wing, or the other Scrap one. I can't even think. It's 700 Piercer. I can't believe I forgot its name. But that one as well. Moving on to Maxi. These are great for the special summoning decks. A lot of decks will do this. This deck's able to be a bit more conservative when it needs to be, which is another reason I quite like the deck. And but it also has the potential to be an all-out deck. So it's nice to have that sort of mixed balance, I feel. A deck has to be able to perform at all different types of play, I believe, to the best of its ability. And most people, I would say, would run 2 Maxi and 2 Effects Veilers in most decks, because that just seems to be the norm at the minute, the meta as it were. Effect Veilers are great anyway, because they can stop a whole deck down in just that one turn of them not being able to pull off their combo. It's just so effective. For the Scrap Search, I use this because it has a multi-layer of reasoning. One, obviously, it's like being able to keep bringing back a free monster, making it a little harder for them to get in that direct damage they're looking for. As well as the fact that you can use Scrap Golem's effect, which allows it to special summon a Scrap monster, what's level 4 or lower, to either side of the field. Now, if it's special summoned to the opponent's side, it automatically will destroy every monster that isn't a Scrap. That includes your side as well, but you've only got Scraps, with the exception of the hand traps, which you're not going to really use, and the synchros, which you just got to be careful of. When I'm running 3 Scrapyard, this is going to be your Searcher. I would normally use it, in most cases you're going to be wanting out Beast or an Orthoros. There might be a time when you want Goblin, but I'd say that's majority of the time what you're going to go for. Dark Hole, it's pretty self-explanatory, it's just a nice board clear. Same for Gold Sarcophagus, I would say. It's a really handy card for either bringing a Redox to start that engine off. Well, in fact, I would say that's your biggest point of having it there, it's for the Redox. Foolish Burial, I would probably use this to get one of these Scraps in the grave if I'm needing it for the Golem to start rocking its effects. Or maybe a Search just to get that card in grave, because that's a useful card to have there. Book of Moon, I feel it's able to stop a lot of decks which is trying to set up for a move. Assault Mode Dragons is a great reference point to this, because if they're going for their first turn, I'm going into a Stardust, but you've already got it set up so that you would be able to stop their tune from being face up, and then it's going to automatically sort of set them back a bit, definitely, because they more or less rely on that first turn Stardust play, and if they're not able to do that, it does make it a little trickier for them to get the win out. Not to say that they're still not overpowered. 3 Forbidden Lands, this is pretty self-explanatory. Even though you're probably not going to see a lot of Spell and Trap play, I feel it's still worth playing, even if it's just that attack reduction on cards which you're going to be facing a lot. Dragons being a perfect example. I keep referencing the dragons because in my opinion, they're going to be the meta. And if you guys have got any opinions on what you think would be the meta, you're more than welcome to leave it in the comments and get a discussion going on it. Then I'll run 3 Scrapdom. Now these are so fun to play because it makes all their plays. Say they have played Dark Hole, and you've got say I don't know. Let's say you've got a Scrap Beast out, or a Scrap Goblin. I know it's a bad example of them doing that because obviously you wouldn't use Dark Hole on one card. But any card on them lines, you can just go, or a D-Prison or something like that, you can just go, send a Scrap from your deck to the grave. So it's not only that, it's a mill, so you could mill Searcher or one of these you're looking for. And then the monster you originally had, which was being targeted by something, you don't have to. I mean, it's just the most efficient way to use Scrapstorm. It's destroyed, and then you draw a card. So it makes you in a really nice position, I feel. 2 Scapegoats, as I've mentioned before, the problems with Blackwings, they're going to be able to trample them, so I only like to use 2. But they're great for stopping them OTK potential from some decks, as well as being able to be an awesome card for giving food to Scrap Dragon for his effect, which I'll cover in a second, or even just to be able to come into some different synchros you're looking to get into but haven't had the potential to do at that time. Say you've got Scrap Goblin in hand, but you haven't got anything else to be able to cover another monster. Say you're needing to get a Black Rose out. This is a great way of doing it. Then you've got a Compulsory. It's pretty self-explanatory itself because it's just a great card to use. I feel it's going to be one of them cards which is another way of stopping the Stardust play. I think it's really worth looking into for other decks versing them as well. I mean, Synchros and XYZs, it's no secret that they're used a lot, so you might as well. It's probably the best way to try and take them out. It's why I use Fort Ruler a lot, because stuff like that, just you get round it. Even though it's not very seen as worth playing by a lot of players, I feel it is. 3 Call of the Haunted. Great card for setting up some plays in the probably more late game than early game, because obviously you're not likely to have them monsters you want in grave. Mostly Scrap Golem's going to be your choice monster for the call in terms of your original set, but Synchro opportunities in it more going to be used a lot as well. And then finishing off with a Solemn Warning. I mean, it's a choice. I mean, I like to use it. I just feel it's got a lot of potential. Another example of a deck this would work great against is Gravekeepers, because they love using that Spy, and it just shuts them down in that respect. I like cards which you're going to be able to stop a lot from with that one card. So let's move on to the extra deck and sort of go through our choices. So I'll start with the XYZs. I've run a Cowboy. I think every deck, if you have a potential to go into Cowboy, you should, because it's just it's such a nice way of finishing a game. It's that little extra bit of life points you was looking to hit, and you can't now. Say they've just come up with this new board of cards from their turn, and they're on, say, 400 life points. You can just go summon Chimera, use its effect to get out Scrap Beast, go into Cowboy, and it isn't obviously affected in terms of the XYZ summons, which is nice. Laval Chain is something I like in terms of, I mean, it's an unusual choice. I mean, you could use Maestro if you don't like the idea of using Laval Chain, but in my opinion, it's nice just to get a bit more mill potential. I think that's what the deck falls down into. It needs that mill to get going. Then you've got Big Eye. I think this is a card you're either going to say, oh, I want a Big Eye, or you want a level 7 opportunity, just because even though it's unlikely, it's worth having the potential to go into something if that opportunity arises. That's my opinion, but you don't have to follow that, obviously. So I want Armadae's Keeper of Illusion as my level 5 synchro. I think it's a really nice card for it just stops so much, which I love. It's one of the best synchros in a long while. In most opportunities, I would say it's better than Catasta, which is saying something. You guys might disagree, and you're more than welcome to share your opinion on that. Then I go on to my 7s, and I've got a Black Rose Dragon, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a nuke. You like to have it around just in case the opportunity arises where it's needed. And a Scrap Archfiend, as I've mentioned, to give Chimera some use if you've only got goblins available. So it's more of a beat stick than anything, but it's a nice beat stick. It gets over a lot of stuff. And it's Earth also, which is nice for Redox. We move on to our 8, which is Stardust Dragon. I run one of them. It's I think you should really use one in most situations. It's just useful. Thought Ruler Archfiend, I've already gone over that. I feel that it's a card which it's worth using because it gets over a lot of problematic positions. What some cards like Stardust just can't really, I suppose. And it's a bit more beneficial in terms of being a bit stronger in terms of attack. Has that nice bonus of the life point gain when it destroys a monster. I feel it's just a nice card to have around. Even though it doesn't have much synergy with Redox and stuff, I still feel it's a worthwhile card to have around. Free Scrap Dragon, this is obviously your main card to be going into. It's just really helpful in terms of setting up them plays you're looking to go for, and more or less it's just going to be not only your beat stick, but being able to board clear a lot. And because of a lot of this is, say, quick play spells, you're going to be able to get that added advantage out of them as well. And you've also got loads of food available for it to be able to just have free stuff to destroy. A Crimson Blader, E-Dragons are a thing, aren't they? They're still a thing. So it's worth having that around. Then I go on to 9s. I've got 2 Scrap Twin Dragons. I feel this is just worth going into, because sometimes it's more beneficial to have this than an old Scrap Dragon. Not always, obviously, but in some positions it is more helpful. And it's worth keeping a note of. And another way you might bring it out, some ways to bring it out would be Scrap Golem even, and Scrap Beast. It's pretty helpful, I would say, to have it there just in case you wanted that little extra attack. Say you're versing a 2900 beta or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's just worth keeping a note of. And finally, a Star Eater, which is a card which I think is worth using just to give Redox some extra play also with Scrap Beast. Don't know if you've noticed that that's also I've just been trying to give Redox some extra reason to be in the deck other than just to bring out the plays into Scrap Dragon stuff. because it's worth having, you know. It's going to be points where you've got one of these engraved and you're like, well, I wish I had a reason to have this on the field. And I've just put a couple reasons for it to be still helpful. And I feel Starhighter's just a great card if you manage to pull him off. Into the side deck, I run 3 Deck Lockdown. To be honest, it's a card which you probably don't need as much as you did when I made this deck, but nevertheless, there's still a lot of decks that are going to be trying to use this, like Black Whirlwind, such. I mean, it's an interesting side. Mind Crusher is pretty self-explanatory. If you're playing a deck and you've played it once, you're going to know what they're playing. You're going to know what to want to try and crush. So you can set up some really interesting plays in that perspective. Free Royal Decree if you're running a trap heavy deck. I doubt you will do, but I suppose it's just nice to have around. This is just a basic side deck I just threw up. You can easily modify it to a more better standard. I would agree with it. You know, it's just what I threw up in like 5 minutes in terms of the side. Then for I run 3 Light Imprisoned Mirror for Light Swans, and 3 Shadow Imprisoned Mirror for stuff like Black Wings, and Big Eye and annoying cards like that. So I mean, that's pretty a good idea of what I was running and why. I hope you let me know what you think and your opinions on what would make the deck a bit more competitive, or even just a fun little add-on, which some people might not have considered. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. So if you've liked, I would like if you could leave a like, please favourite and share so more people can see this deck profile if you think it's worth showing to others. And yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and goodbye.